Hello everyone. So next topic is source code. So the human understandable code written by the user using Java programming language is called source code. Now those who are in 10th standard, in 9th standard, you have practiced, you have written so many program, your lab manual program during your lab period and all. So whatever the code you people were typing in BlueJ, so here downside also I have taken one screenshot. So here this code representing source code. So this source code is human understandable code. Now, and the file extension of the source code is .java, and it is human readable. And next is bytecode. So the intermediate code generated by the Java compiler after compiling the Java source code is called bytecode. And the file extension of bytecode is .class. And very important point about the bytecode is platform independent. It means if you have typed your Java program on Windows operating system, if you will take this class file, you are able to execute it on Linux, Macintosh, Android, any platform. So that is called platform independent nature. Now here just try to understand the difference between bytecode and source code. Source code is platform dependent, but bytecode is platform independent. And bytecode is not in human understandable format, but it is executed by the JVM. Every JVM able to execute bytecode. Now here you can see that this screenshot I have taken for the bytecode. Now the practical implementation, if you want to see, so let me explain with the help of one example. So now you can see this is the class that I have created with the name source code in BlueJ. Simple main method I have written. Then I have written two SOP statement. In first SOP statement, system.out.println welcome to SHS, and second system.out.println stay home, stay safe. So I have, when I will compile it, there is no syntax error, so my program compiled successfully. Now I will go to the folder where I have created this program. So here if you will see, here I have created that source code file. You can see here you will get one file with the name source code. When you will open it, you will get the same code whatever you have typed in BlueJ. So here it is in human understandable format. Now there is another file called .class file. This .class file store a bytecode. When you will open this file, you can see that you will get the code in this format. It is not understandable by the human beings. It is only machine understandable format. So this is called a bytecode. So again I'm just clarifying the difference between bytecode and source code. Bytecode is platform independent and it is not in human understandable format, but source code is understandable by the humans and it is platform dependent. So that are the 2 points that differentiate between source code and bytecode. So the next topic is compiler and interpreter. So both compiler and interpreter are a language translator, or you can say programmer translator. So program translator means the software that convert one type of code into another type. The translator means the program or a software that convert one type of code into another type, and both are different in their functioning. Both means compiler and interpreter, even both are language translator or program translator, but still they are different in their way of functioning. So let's discuss first about compiler. So a compiler is a computer program translator that execute a program at once. Means first it will finish the execution of the whole program. The list of possible error, if any, will be displayed after the whole program execution. Means suppose there will be an error in line number 8. So compiler first execute all the program, all the lines of a program. Suppose there are total 15 lines, and there is a error, will be an error in line number 8. So it will not stop there in line number 8. First it will execute all the 15 lines. Then at the end of the execution, it will display the list of errors. So in case of compiler, the list of error will be displayed at the end of the whole execution. So that is a way of working of a compiler. Now next is interpreter, a computer program translator that execute a program line by line. In case of any error, the interpretation process will be terminated in that line itself, and the error message will be displayed. Now, so here what is the difference between compiler and interpreter? Compiler execute the whole program at once, and if there will be any error, error will be displayed at the end of the execution process. But in case of interpreter, it interprets or it execute the program line by line. Now suppose there are 15 lines and there will be an error in line number 5. So in case of interpreter, what will be there? Whenever the line number 5 will be under execution, there will be an error. So because of error, rest of the code will not be executed. So the termination execution process will be terminated in that line itself, and it will be displaying the error message. But in case of compiler, it will be executing first all the programs, then it will display the error. So here the code, in case of interpreter, the code after that line where the error generated will not be executed. So this is all about compiler and interpreter. Next is JVM. So JVM stands for Java Virtual Machine. So it is an interpreter. It is an Java interpreter that convert the bytecode into particular platform understandable form, or you can say machine code. So JVM is an example of Java interpreter, and the example of Java compiler is Java C. Now next point about JVM is platform dependent. Platform dependent means there will be different JVM for Windows operating system, there will be different JVM for Linux operating system, there will be different JVM for Android operating system, but all these JVM are able to execute a bytecode. So these are the points about JVM. Next is Java compilation process. So Java compilation process deals with two different stages. On first stage, the Java source code is converted into bytecode with the help of Java compiler. As I already told, Java compiler name is Java C. So on first stage, what will happen? Whatever the code we will type in BlueJ, that code will be compiled. So after compilation, what will be generated? Bytecode. So bytecode file extension is .class and source code file extension is .java, that we have already discussed. So On stage 2, the bytecode is interpreted by the JVM. Bytecode is interpreted by the JVM into machine code. As I already told, JVM is an Java interpreter, so it will interpret the bytecode and it will convert it into machine code, or you can say particular operating system understandable form. So this is the these are the two different stages that clarify the Java compilation process. Now this diagram explains about the compilation process of Java. Now you can see that at first stage, this is the source code, means the code which is typed by the user. That is called a source code. Now source code we will compile with the help of this Java compiler, and what will be generated? Bytecode. So here one question can be asked, who is responsible for generating bytecode? So the answer for this question will be Java compiler. And this bytecode will be interpreted by this JVM. Bytecode will be interpreted by this JVM, and what will be generated? Output. You can say that output will be generated. Now here these multiple arrow represent that this bytecode can be executed on Windows 10 operating system also, Linux also, Android also, and a Mac operating system also. This bytecode is, as I already told in bytecode, this explanation, that bytecode is a platform independent. So it will be executed on any of the operating system. So what is the function of Java compiler? From this diagram you can understand, Java compiler convert the Java source code into bytecode. So what is the function of JVM? JVM converts the bytecode into machine code, or you can say JVM converts the bytecode into particular operating system understandable format. So from this diagram, one more question you can understand, that this arrows represents stage 1. Now there is very important question that is asked in the board examination, why Java is called two-stage programming language. Question is, why Java is called a two-stage programming language? So here Java is a two-stage programming language because it is both compiled and interpreted. Because it is both compiled and interpreted. So here you can see in this diagram, on stage 1 what will be there? Java source code will be compiled and bytecode will be generated. This is the functionality of stage 1. Now on stage 2 what will be there? Bytecode will be interpreted by the JVM and output will be generated. So this is the reason that Java is called a two-stage programming language. Now next question is, why Java is platform independent language? Now platform independent means neutral for all the operating system, or which will be able to execute on all the operating system. So platform independent nature of application means it is executing on every operating system. So Java is a platform independent language because the software developed using Java are executing on every operating system. So operating systems such as, here are the examples of operating system: Windows 7, Windows 10, Windows 8, Mac, Android, Linux, Unix, etc. So the platform independent nature of Java means whatever the software you will develop using Java, all the software are able to execute on every operating system. It is not like that that you have developed a software on Windows 10 operating system, so it will be limited only to Windows 10. No, this software can be executing on Windows 10 as well, on Windows 7, Mac, Android, Linux and Unix. That is the specialty of platform independent nature. So this is the reason that Java is a platform independent language. So next topic is characteristics or features of Java. Very important question for 10th standard section A. So this question can be asked for 2 marks in board examination. They will ask only they just list down any 4 or any 2 features of Java. So no need to write the explanation in that case, just write the name. So the first feature is object oriented language. Object oriented language means it follows the object oriented programming techniques. Now next is platform independent. As I already told, the software developed using Java will be executing on every operating system. So that shows platform independent nature. Now next is two-stage programming language. Two-stage programming language, as I already explained during the Java compilation process, each Java program execute at 2 different stages. On stage 1, the Java source code is compiled by the Java compiler and a bytecode will be generated. And on stage 2, bytecode will be interpreted by the JVM and a output will be generated. So this is the reason that this is also one of the feature of Java, two-stage programming language. Now next feature is case sensitive. Case sensitive means here the uppercase and lowercase letter are treated as differently. If for example I am writing system.out.println, as you already know that when we are writing system in BlueJ, S must be capital. But if you are writing system with small s, there will be a compilation error. It means the system with capital S is a valid keyword for Java library, but system with small s is not a valid keyword for Java. This is the reason that in that case there will be an error. Next feature is robust. Now robust means Java having inbuilt different features like garbage collection, and so this it shows that it is a robustness. It shows the robustness of a programming language. So there will be proper memory utilization, that also comes under the robustness of Java. Now next is secure. Here secure means, because when you will proceed further in your session and all, you will learn one concept, exception handling. In exception handling we will teach that how a Java program itself able to handle the error. Means if there will be an error, we can handle it inside the program itself. So Java provides the different mechanism for handling the error. So this is the reason that it is a secure language. And one more reason behind it, Java code is rechecked twice. Twice means first, on the first stage it is compiled by the compiler, so the possibility of error minimized at the first stage, and on second stage it is interpreted by the JVM. If there will be any error, again it is rechecked. So finally the possibility of error will be totally minimized in a Java program. So this is the reason that it is also one of the secure language. So all these are the most important features of Java. I hope all this clear to all of you. Now the next topic is Java libraries. Now when you want to execute a Java program, you need to install a Java software. Now you are using BlueJ directly, because in BlueJ directly they are having all these Java component, library component, JRE and JDK. So Java library includes JRE and JDK. Here JRE stands for Java Runtime Environment and JDK stands for Java Development Kit, which are used for every Java program execution. Because whatever the program we are writing, for its execution we need a platform. That platform will be provided by this library. So let's discuss about the JDK. A Java Development Kit is a software development environment used for developing Java application. It includes Java Runtime Environment, Java Interpreter, Java Compiler, jar files. Here jar represents Java archives, documentation generators and a JSL. So and API, application programming interface, all these. So here is just mainly you focus on JDK and JRE. And one more thing, here from this definition you can understand that JRE is a part of JDK. So from the next diagram it may be clear to all of you. So left side, this shows that this is the whole structure of JDK. So here you can see that a JDK contains JRE, JVM, set of libraries, other files and development tools and all. But this is the individual structure of JRE. So JRE exists inside the JDK. This is all about Java. Now next topic is Java packages. Very important concept it is. So the Java packages are the folder or directories that contains the set of Java classes. Means inside a package what will be there? Java classes. It can be a predefined class, it can be user defined class. Because the package also of two types, we can create our own package. So when we are creating our own package, that is termed as user defined package. So there are predefined package also that contains the predefined classes. So there are different predefined Java package that contains the Java classes. So few examples of predefined packages are java.lang. It is a default package. Very important question it is. So they will ask so many times, write the default package name in Java. So your answer will be java.lang. Here default means whenever you are opening a BlueJ software, automatically all the classes which are defined in this default package will be accessible in your program. Now java.util. Now you may have seen that whenever you are using scanner class is not declared in java.lang package. So it is declared in different package. So you need to use this package with the help of an import statement. So you need to write at the beginning of the program import java.util.star. So next package name java.io input output, java.awt, java.net, etc. Now here a user defined package can also be created in Java. As I already told, packages are of two types, user defined package and a predefined package. Mostly the question will be asked from predefined package. They will ask write the name of any two predefined packages in Java. So here are the 5 examples. Out of 5 you can write any two. So this is all about packages. Next one is BlueJ. So BlueJ, it is an integrated development environment used to write and execute Java programs. It is designed for teaching at introductory level. Here IDE stands for integrated development environment, means the interface, the platform where we are able to write and execute the programs. That is called a IDE. If you are not using IDE, you need to install separately Java software. You need to download it from Oracle site. You need to install it in your computer. So, but here without downloading, you are directly using BlueJ. It is already inbuilt inside the BlueJ. And next point about this, it was developed and maintained by a joint research group at Deccan University, Melbourne, Australia, and University of Kent in the UK. So these were the two universities that works together for the development of this IDE. The project was supported by Sun Microsystem. Why? Because Java, that time Java was a product of Sun Microsystem, and initially it is started at Monash University in Melbourne. After 2009, it was available a open source software. Open source software means free of cost. No need to pay any money for using that software. Now Blues is also a open source software. You can download it directly from the website and you can use it. It is not a paid software. So this is all about Blues. So thank you. Stay home, stay safe. Any doubt, you can text in the WhatsApp group. Thank you so much.